everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today, we're with Diane with Mackinaw Valley Vineyard. Diane, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you. It's good to be here.
So tell us a little bit about you, Diane. Where did you grow up? Tell us a little bit about your career and your process with the vineyard now.
Well, I'm 300 years old, Jake, and I've been... No, I just... Thank you. No, I grew up, my life has taken a lot of twists and turns. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, actually. So I'm, a Midwest person my whole life, and then moved around the country quite a bit for different reasons, for schooling and marriage and everything when I was younger. And then ended up in Illinois about 27 years ago, I guess it is now. And met my husband, Paul, who had just started for a few years the Vineyard and Winery that you mentioned when you kind of introduced me. And so I've actually had a career in healthcare management. I published a magazine. I've done lots of different things. So, but now for the last, since 2006, have been running the vineyard and doing all the events and all the different stuff that we do out there. And it's a pretty big farm, and we have the vineyard on the property, make wine there, do events there. So yeah.
Very cool. Tell us about your spring festivals, your spring events. What do those look like? What do they feel like?
Yeah, well, we're going into a little bit of hibernation, may not be the right word, but it's close. Right. I would like to be hibernating.
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, over the winter, we just do quieter stuff indoors, obviously. And then we kind of kick it off in May, and it's always end of May, typically hits Memorial Day weekend. And we have it called the International Music, Wine, and Craft Beer Festival. It's a 2-day event.
Wow.
And it is. Wow. It's a really fun time. And we have a big pavilion building, and one whole wall is tasting beer, and we have about 70 craft beers, and another wall is tasting wine, and we have about 50 wines total, our wines plus other wines from around the world. And our Lions Club group puts a big food tent up and does concessions out of their tent the whole weekend. And we have bands. We have 3 bands on 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday, and we have 3 bands. We have 2 bands on Sunday. And it's kind of eclectic. Like we have a duo first thing in the day, and then a single kind of acoustic country guy. And then we'll have a band called Revel in Red that does some originals and some covers. And then Sunday we have an Irish group called Tourist Irish.
Nice.
And then we'll do another solo musician in the afternoon Sunday. So a lot of variety, something for everybody.
Where did that concept to do a festival come from?
So, obviously we've had wine, and we've always been interested in wine. And a few years back, we owned Paul and I owned a restaurant, and we found out there were people that were really passionate about their beer, just like wine people are passionate about wine. And so we thought, why don't we, and we had always kind of done, wine tasting, a smaller wine festival. And we thought, let's just, boot it up a notch and invite the beer folks to join us. So we have 5 different distributors that we work with in our area that really pretty much covers, any kind of beer that's sold in our part of Central Illinois, we can get it. And a lot of the American craft beer scene is very interesting. And so we try to really have a lot of variety and a lot of different things, and with the wine as well, but beer's really got a lot of stuff they're kind of innovating with too.
Yeah, for sure. As a venue, as an event holder, an event planner, what is it for you that keeps that drive going, that desire to keep doing what you're doing?
Really, honestly, whenever I'm feeling a little fatigued, it's just the encouragement of the people that come out. And we're a very family-friendly place. If you came out to our place on any given band night, you'd see families there with kids throwing frisbees and out in the lawn areas, grandparents, the parents that are younger, couples, singles. It's a fun place. And that's what really keeps us going. We have really loyal customers. We have new people discovering us all the time. And every time, and their remarks are always very much like, wow, this is a beautiful place. This is so much fun. I love what you're doing, love the wine, whatever. And that's what kind of keeps you going. And I think especially the last few years, as everyone, unless you've lived in a cave, you know, with COVID, were a little challenging. We were really blessed because we have big outdoor spaces.
Yeah.
And like on a night when we're doing concerts, we have 3 bars and 2 of them are outdoors. And so with a lot of spray paint on the lawn marking where people could sit and different crazy ideas, we were able to limp through. But I can't tell you how grateful people were to like have somewhere to go and get out and have fun and feel safe. We kept saying, people would tell us, you know, when I come here, I feel like you put the effort in and we feel comfortable and have a good time.
Yeah, no, that's spectacular. I'm excited to hear more and see more. I got a couple of fun questions for you, Diane. I'm a live music guy. I'm an entertainment guy.
Let me get some.
No, I got you.
I'm ready. That wasn't wine.
If it was very, very clear and filtered. Okay, so what's the best concert you've ever seen in your life, Diane?
Oh, okay. To be honest, I was fortunate enough to go to Indianapolis and see really the last tour of Fleetwood Mac when the original group was together.
Yep.
So the McVies, Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham, Mick Fleetwood, all of them, really the last time they were all together. So I kind of bought the tickets knowing this probably was the last hurrah for that bunch.
Good for you.
And I was right. So yeah, that was amazing.
All right. So second question would be, dead or alive, you could bring one act to the Mackinaw Valley Vineyard. Who would you bring?
Okay, this might be a little obscure Illinois fact. Dan Fogelberg, but he's passed away.
Yep.
So I'm going into, you know, fantasy land, living or dead. Have you heard of Dan Fogelberg?
Yep.
Okay, so he was born in Peoria.
Okay.
And is a Peoria guy, and still very, you know, well regarded here and everything. He's passed away several years ago now, and he his last few years of life he lived in Colorado.
Yep.
But just a fantastic musician, songwriter, history for the area. So yeah, maybe he would be one that I would really, and you know who I really want to meet? He's not a musician. Do you know who Wavy Gravy is?
No.
From Woodstock?
No.
Okay, watch the documentary, because Wavy Gravy was this cool guy who showed up with this bus full of hippies, and he was the security for Woodstock, and they called themselves the Please Patrol, meaning Please, because their way of doing things was to be very nice. They brought these giant things to cook rice for people and beans and fed all those people. And he was really one of the key people in my mind that kept the lid on all the crazy. And as an event planner, when you look at that event and everything that went sideways, there was a lot that went right as far as people trying to take care of each other and behave and help each other too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, look up Wavy Gravy. He's a guy I want to meet. That's who you should interview. I think he's still alive.
Interesting. Diane, how do people find out more about the events that happened there at the Vineyard?
Yeah, so of course our website, MackinawValleyVineyard.com, and we have a strong Facebook presence. Mackinaw Winery is our Facebook page. You can find us there, and we've got an upcoming events tab on the website, and I keep all the listings there. Although our 2023 band schedule, I posted in January because it's kind of an anticipated thing.
Sure.
And I try to kind of have a little like of a thing like, hey, we're going to put the band schedule up today, and everybody's excited about it. So
good. Very good. Yeah. I appreciate you greatly for being on. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Jake.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine.